so don't worry, there won't be news probably today, but tomorrow I will post it somewhere else. Hello, my friend Mark. Not your father's capital.
Yes. Thanks for having me. How you doing?
I'm doing very, very well, and let's talk about crypto. We know each other for not a long time, but hopefully we will make some money on the market. And I know that you are interested in ICP. I know
Yes.
that you talked about Solana a few hours ago, and I'm in ICP also. I'm in BTC, I'm in ICP. What about you? Do you hold mostly altcoins, Bitcoin, or how do you speculate on the market?
Yeah. So everybody gets into all phases of crypto, but within my strategy for my personal investing, it's always going to be Bitcoin. That's the mothership when it comes to all tides, right? But within crypto, you want to get your blue chips. You got your Bitcoin, obviously some Ethereum, but more so we talk about some of the other cryptos that we look into a more longer term play. So that's like going to be Cardano for me, XRP, Solana, and then a couple other ones that round out that like 8 to 25 ranking in market cap. Those are the ones that you kind of look for more growth in, for like a more intermediate play. But kind of all of my strategies go with just being responsible and just keep acquiring at the right times. And yes, there are some speculative plays within smaller caps, some small cap projects, some startups. You look for more gains, some more like 10x, 100x kind of opportunities, but that's just kind of how I play it. So, but those are the ones I'm mostly involved with. Yeah.
Did you bought ICP on that bottom last time at $3?
Yes. Yeah. ICP, it's been on a crazy run. A little bit of a mixed bag with ICP though. You said, I think you told me that you stake ICP.
Yeah.
So that's one way to approach it. But the community within ICP is really strong, and that's kind of what attracted to me. But if you look at their history, a lot of VC backing, kind of glass half empty approach. There's a lot of skepticism. It kind of has the same tie-ins that Solana had. How you worry about what goes on with, the past within FTX, that whole fiasco. But ICP has a lot of upside for me. That's just how I view it. And under $10, it was extremely cheap just a little bit ago, and that's crazy. The run it was on the end of November, December, January. A very active community on X, formerly Twitter, as well as on YouTube and other outlets. The ICP community is strong, and it's definitely a 10x opportunity for me. With or without all of the FUD within the VC backing within ICP, but just definitely a crypto that I have my eyes on. So I'm going to cover it on my channel. And like I said, I know you're involved with it as well.
The next, so do you believe that it will be worth around $300?
Yeah, that's nobody has a crystal ball, so that's kind of tough. But you really don't know what the next bull cycle is going to bring. But I'm watching you work the graphics here on the chart, and there's definitely a lot of room to go to the upside. I'll just say that.
And what about Solana? Do you hold Solana?
Solana is an interesting crypto for my liking. We had a nice relationship, I think, back in the last bull cycle. If you look back historically, that range that we're currently kind of at right now, that $80 to $90, 110, in that range, that was kind of like a nice little window I used to swing trade Solana back in 2020, 2021, 22. But more so now, I think it was just running a little hot. So I exited a little bit of Solana positions and looking to get back in. It's on a little bit of a pullback. We had a little bit of a correction with I think the Bitcoin spot ETF, falling short in that sell the news event. A little bit of that going on as well. But Solana is a very volatile crypto. It is. It is. But if you followed crypto, 2023 was one of the most outperforming assets, I think, across the board within crypto, and it speaks for itself. And then you obviously have some of the Solana ecosystem meme coins out there having an absolute tear on the charts. But they have some pullback as well. So it's kind of a mixed bag as well. But definitely a crypto I have in my in that top 5, top 10 holdings list. Yeah, for sure.
And what about ETFs right now? What do you think we can see in next couple of days? Because it will be really interesting.
Yes. Do you think it's going to happen?
I will tell you something. I think it may happen because too many commercials out there about ETFs, too many energy, and on the other hand, most of my viewers and most of people I asked thought that it won't happen this time. 54% believe that it won't happen right now. Only 33% of people who I talk with, and hundreds of them, they believe it will be right now. And there was a poll by Bitwise a few days ago, and also 39 almost percent believed that ETFs will happen right now, and most don't believe about it.
Yeah, it's kind of that mixed bag, I think, and I think that's what happened with that little bit of a sell-off. Obviously, what we saw, that little dip that we had across the board. I think it was an article came out, and it was like a poll. 90% people thought it wouldn't happen on that date. Was it the 10th, January 10th? Is that the date, or the 9th?
January 10th, yeah.
Okay, so that was what went on with that. And you look into the future, and my feelings though is like it's going to happen. So a lot of the price was baked in to crypto from the Bitcoin ETFs, and it's not going to be one. There's 13 out there, 13 companies looking to get
14.
Yeah, so I mean, there you go as well. It's going to be huge, and I think there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that, whether we have a little dip now, a little correction, what have you, I don't really think it's truly felt the magnitude of what it's going to do for Bitcoin, for crypto. I think it's just going to hit us a lot harder than we're actually anticipating, in a good way, in a positive way.
I see the article that Forbes predicts 1.5 trillion Bitcoin market leading to a rally. Next RP. Next RP. It's many articles about ETFs and huge emotions. And what I believe, and I created this chart today about potential decline or acceptation of ETFs. And we need to remember that we have April 2024, and the fourth halving will occur.
Yeah.
And another huge event to play and to speculate on the growth. But what if there will be an acceptation? This is kind of my speculation, and decline of ETFs. This is also kind of my speculation, because otherwise the market will go up. Mm-hmm. Only one question: how fast? In my opinion, what do you think about it? Maybe something like this.
I mean, it's kind of that crystal ball again, and I'm more bullish on the ETF than probably most people, but I'm going to say it's going to go up in terms of your example, but my opposition to that would be I don't know if it's a good thing for crypto. I don't know if it's a good thing for crypto with the ETFs in crypto. I don't know if that institutional involvement, I mean, obviously we're in two different ends of the world, but is that response different from where you're at to where I'm at? Is it something where Wall Street's good? Is it bad? You know, I don't know what that finished product's going to look like. So I'm kind of, you know, glass half full more with that in terms of being good, but I'm more bullish with the price, especially within the Bitcoin ETF. So that's kind of where I lend to that, answering that.
Yeah, potentially really huge inflow of capital if ETFs will be accepted. A few months ago, I posted an article about it, and they calculated how huge BTC will pump after acceptation of ETFs. And I'm looking for this article right now, but I calculated that it will pump maybe somewhere to $200,000 because of the huge amount of capital will flow into the market from these ETFs, because they are managing the capital around $17 billion, something like this. They're managing it, right? So only 5% of that capital would be a huge amount of money to push the Bitcoin price much higher. Much higher. I don't know if I can find it right now.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah, I just found it. I just found it. Yeah, possible capital that will flow to the BTC market from my calculations around 85 to 300 billion dollars. Billion dollars, yes. So it can push the price of BTC hugely.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, hugely, really huge. 100%, something like this.
What is your max cap for Bitcoin? What is your most bullish price prediction for how high it can go?
In what period of time?
In our lifetime.
Lifetime. I calculated it a few hours ago, and I calculated about $100 million for BTC.
Oh geez.
$100 million for BTC I calculated. And this is something which I think it can happen because of the global markets, because of the collapsing of the global fiat money, fiat currencies, and people are losing faith in the traditional system. So it may go in that direction. I don't know where it will go.
Yeah.
But looking at the supply of BTC, 21 millions, 1 million Bitcoins only in our lifetime. So it can go maybe even higher. I don't know. What do you think?
I think I don't want to consider myself a skeptic, but I think for me it's just I'm a really hard sell. And even if I feel good, like I try to consider myself like I want to be a realist, and that way if I can have my expectations shattered, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't say I'm more of a doubter, but just more of I'd be more in that 500,000 ballpark for my life. I mean, and I'm hoping that I'm proved wrong, but that's just kind of where I'm in line with, just with looking at market caps and regulation. And you know, you talk about financial systems collapsing, but in the other in the other vein, government, politics, they're not going to get behind something that they're not going to make money off of. So then you get into the whole talk of CBDCs and how that works, and if it collapses, then who's going to make money? And then where's the government? It would collapse the government as well. And then that gets a little fishy, because then you can't really, and just at least being in the United States, and not from an arrogance perspective, I know that's a big misinterpretation. I think you're, worldwide, where they view the United States as arrogant and all this, negativity and stuff. But that's more so, I think, in a government political aura, a stereotype. But it's just money. It's just money. They're not gonna lose out on money. There's too much money in government. So unless somehow it becomes a United States Bitcoin, I just don't see it getting to be in a magnitude where it's going to, I could see them letting them be 500,000, can still kind of tame it. But if it ever got to what you're calling it, it would collapse governments. It would absolutely shatter. It would collapse governments. It would cause anarchy, which, a lot of people feel that way.
Interesting. Hopefully that won't happen. Hopefully something totally opposite will happen, so that the Bitcoin will rise and grow. But we will see, of course. Okay, do you trade?
Do I trade?
Yeah. Or do you speculate? Yeah. Do you hold?
What do you mean with futures?
I mean, how do you manage your money? Just how do you manage your crypto? Do you just hold, or do you some?
Oh, no. That's a. I think I touched on it earlier. I try to just drive everything into the blue chips, right? In the Bitcoin, Ethereum, stablecoin, and you use some of the altcoins that I'm not extremely long in. My biggest holding, full disclosure, is Cardano. I say that in a lot of my videos. So I'm not so much bullish in that. I just believe in it. And you have these so-called Ethereum killers, the altcoins, and that's kind of how I diversify. Bitcoin's in its own category, XRP's in its own category. In some of these cryptos, there's a very interesting crypto, Kaspa. Are you familiar with Kaspa? That's one of them I have in a very high upside category. I just consider what utility they bring, and that's kind of how I manage my portfolio. I don't want to have all proof of works. I don't want to have all, layer ones. It's more of diversifying what in 5 years, 10 years, those cryptos are going to do down the road. And then that all drives back into Bitcoin when you take profits. And as you see, that's a pretty good strategy. If you look in the past year, you can make a lot of money in small caps, middle cap cryptos, and driving those back into the blue chips. And Bitcoin 2023, almost 2.5x on whatever money you could put in just traditionally investing in Bitcoin. That's always been the best strategy for me when I manage my own, obviously. But there are some, speculative plays, some 100x plays that you want to get into, some altcoin gems. And
do you have some gems you can share that are still low?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Everybody, usually by the time you share them, they're all gone. But no, it's really, there really hasn't been too many. I mean, obviously, if you look at some of what I've noticed is it's been a lot of ecosystem tokens. And I just think that where the market is, my capital is better off in some of the crypto that is going to 10x. In what I've learned from the last bull cycle was you could throw darts at the wall and you could hit a 10x, 20x, 30x, nothing to it, right? Everything was a winner. If you lost in that time period, it really was your fault. and you were greedy. And I think right now it's kind of the same mindset because we're entering the so-called next bull cycle. And so I'm looking more so with a different approach where I want to take these cryptos that I like what they're doing in that like 6 to 25, 35 market cap range. And if I can get 10 of those to 10x, that's 100x for me on my money. So it's more so instead of me trying to find the next, lack of better words, shitcoin, like I can take well-established cryptos with real actual utility. And if I can 10x those, find 3 of them, that's a 30x. You know what I mean? And so there's a few like that. That's kind of what I'm more strategizing for this next bull cycle. More deliberate approach than just, but there always are going to be those ones where your buddy texts you, hey, I got this new project. Here's the contract and let's go. There's always going to be that. I just a lot of swings and misses on those, as you guys, we're all human and nobody has a crystal ball, but we've all made money off them too. So there's a time and place for everything in crypto.
One last question I have.
Yeah.
Before we finish, about next couple of months. For example, imagine a situation where ETFs are accepted in January. And what happened next? Not about what happened with Bitcoin, but what happened with the biggest players, Ethereum, XRP, Chainlink. People are talking about new ETFs coming on these altcoins. So what do you think about it? How do you think we can speculate on this?
Well, that's interesting because I was on a live stream with another crypto YouTuber recently, and we talked about it, and I brought up the point, like I think I even talked about it here. It's like, are ETFs good? Are they a good thing for crypto? Is, the last bear market, we got all the institutions, the centralization, we got out of crypto. And that was the theme across the board. We got the bad players out of crypto. And now it seems like with these ETFs, are we just ushering in a new era or just more of the bad in back with crypto? So that's my fear. And it's kind of opening Pandora's box because we get these 13 or so Bitcoin ETFs get approval. Okay. And obviously Bitcoin can't be a security. So that's one thing. And then we're mixing that with Wall Street. And then it's, then it becomes that whole bag of worms. But the Pandora's box is where I see what's next. Are we going to get that XRP ETF, which I think would be the third one after Ethereum? And then do we get a large cap ETF? Do we get a mid cap ETF? Do we get a meme coin ETF? And like, where is that line going to be drawn where we look into, say, 5-10 years from now, and there goes Coinbase, there goes Binance, there goes all the exchanges, because this kind of tails into our, statement about the governments and the CBDC and, the financial systems collapsing. All of a sudden, we just integrated this truly beautiful crypto sphere into centralization, and it'll become just like the rest of the centralized financial system. So it's really Pandora's box for me, and I think I just really want to see the Bitcoin ETF actually be good and do good for crypto, because like I said, I'm more of a skeptic when it comes to things, and not pessimistic, but I could just see a lot more evil.
What's the worst thing do you believe can happen to Bitcoin when ETFs will be accepted? You said about centralization, you said about the Pandora box. So what do you believe will be the worst thing?
Basically, the United States owning Bitcoin. That probably would be it. Like, it would somehow become acquired or owned and controlled by a central government. And then all of the Bitcoin maxis, the big Bitcoin players, they're all, that's kind of what happened with crypto's evolution. That's how, people left Bitcoin. They started Ethereum and they started all these other, it started it all, but everybody's going to try to get something that's better than the last. And Bitcoin truly has the best, the best business model, I guess you'd call it, best roadmap, best. I mean, they are what they are, and they're truly decentralized. It's in its own category, but that's what I fear for, is that Bitcoin becomes less Bitcoin, and the people that keep Bitcoin going leave Bitcoin, go into other things, and start new things, and it just would fail. I just think we're all adults. I think everybody just needs to leave crypto alone, and I think the world would be a better place with blockchain incorporated in day-to-day life, and that's just kind of what I see. So,
All right. Thank you very much for today conversation, and it was a pleasure to meet you.
yeah,
And
thanks for having me.
we will have a more conversation soon. All right, I will finish the stream right now.
All right.
And before finishing the stream, remember, guys, to check Not Your Father Capital YouTube channel, and it's crazy and really, really good info right here.
Appreciate it.
Go to the Not Your Father's Capital, and thank you, brother. Thank you, Mark.